So I think Shivangi ma'am would have shared the data sheet and the PPT handouts with you.
Yeah, I have done it already to all of them.
Yeah, so the same sheet I'm going to run, which I explained yesterday because uh, you people requested that I should run. So first I will run the logistic regression, and then we will move for a discriminant analysis and cluster analysis. And the last topic is conjoint analysis. So how many of you are actually running it with me? May I know? Or you will be just looking at it?
We will be looking at what at your
Okay,
demonstration. Ma'am,
fine.
what is the meaning of logistic word in the logistic regression?
Logistic word in the logistic regression. See,
Yes.
basically, if I tell you that what actually we achieved, if you remember, when we run this analysis,
Hmm.
what exactly we achieved, if you remember step by step.
To be honest, this session was very fast yesterday.
Okay, okay.
So I was just trying to grasp as much as possible. So
Yeah,
that's why,
because actually it is a little lengthy, no, because you have to finish it by
yeah,
tomorrow. So that
I'll
is also
request
the.
मैम शिवांगी मैम को यही बोलूंगा कि भाई शिवांगी मैम रिग्रेशन के लिए स्पेशल वर्कशॉप रखो क्योंकि क्या है काफी सारी चीजें को मिक्सअप करना है ना
Yeah,
इट
because
more
when we learn the cluster and the discriminant and the conjoint, then I don't know what will happen after
हाँ
that.
मैम यू हैव कवर्ड सो मच मटेरियल इन 3 days दैट
Yeah.
जो वर्कशॉप का इफेक्ट है ना फ्लेवर है वो नहीं आ
Huh,
पाता है
huh,
because
huh.
we are trying to cover as much as possible but
Yeah, yeah,
you know
because we also have time limitation also we have, no?
यस यस सो टाइम लिमिटेशन की वजह से क्या है मैं तो शिवांगी मैम को यही बोलूंगा शिवांगी मैम एक वर्कशॉप सेपरेटली रखो रिग्रेशन बिकॉज मल्टीवेरिएट रिग्रेशन इज देयर सो मेनी रिग्रेशंस अभी
Yeah, yeah,
लॉजिस्टिक आ गया बेसिक तो
yeah.
आता नहीं है लॉजिस्टिक पे घुस गए
So I think did you attend? Ma'am has already conducted the basic level.
in that regression was taught but logistic
Huh.
regression and all these things but you are explaining it is very vast to be
Okay, okay.
honest
Yeah.
yes
Vast or fast you are telling?
दोनों हैं वास्ट भी है
Okay,
बट योर स्पीड इज नॉट द इशू you are
okay, okay.
explaining everything we are what we
Yeah,
are asking
yeah, yeah.
but
I think the
but in
retention power is a problem, but that will
uh,
happen with the material and the videos. That will help you. So slowly,
yes yes
slowly you can repeat it. Okay,
yes
so now what actually happens in logistic regression, what actually we do? So we need to first of all determine association between the response, okay, what all the variables we have taken, and then we understand the effect of the predictors. So let us say that yesterday we have discussed about the tax, okay, high tax, whether the tax is high or not, correct? So now, in predicting tax, whether it will be high or low, there are many things which will play an important role. It can be age, it can be politics, okay, it can be the business or the uh, business of yours. So that will be impacted by the tax policy of government. So in that case, all these things become the predictors. So now what you are trying to do here is that you are trying to see here is that each variable, how it influences the outcome, that is high tax. So let us say if you are looking it from the politics point of view. So in that case, what will happen in different categories? If you're looking it from age perspective, then how it will influence the tax, whether the tax is high or low. So how people are relating it with the existing data. That is what we are trying to say here is. Logistic, actually, if you see for the meaning of logistic, it does not have any kind of word-to-word meaning if you want to know. Okay. And if you want to know about regression analysis or logistic regression is simply a predictive analysis. So it is used for describing your data and to explain relationship between one dependent variable and one or more nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio-based independent variables, which is not possible in your ordinary regression. So here you can have a variety of variables all together, and then you can run it. So that is how it just gives you the advanced level of regression. The meaning still remains same. Still, you are just predicting your dependent variable based on different independent variables.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Getting it? So again, it is just predicting your outcome variable based on different independent variables, and these independent variables can be of any type. You do not have any limitation here. Are we clear about it?
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just share the screen now, and do let me know what all is visible to you. So I think I'll share both the things together, the data sheet as well as the PPT. Yeah. Is it visible? Data sheet? Tell me if the data sheet is visible or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So this is the same data sheet which we were discussing yesterday in the session. Okay, is PPT is also visible?
So it is containing ordinal data as well as ratio data. Income is ratio and other fields
Yeah,
it is.
anything. Yeah, all types of data are there. Okay, this PPT is also visible to you?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
I think PPT you covered yesterday.
Yeah, because now hand to hand, what we did and how it is looking here, that also I will tell you, so that I do not need to explain it again. Fine, no?
No, if you can demonstrate on SPSS, I think all others will agree with me.
Yeah, no, the steps which were there in PPT, that
Okay.
just a second. What I want to
Okay.
tell you,
Okay.
because there are multiple steps. So I will tell you that when in future when you practice, how you need to follow the steps given in the PPT,
Okay.
because it is a little bit complex. Just give me a minute. Mhm.
क्या बेटा? और चटनी नहीं मिलेगी। थैंक यू, थैंक यू। एक ही चाहिए।
Okay, so this PPT is visible now, no? And data sheet also, correct? Both are
Yes,
there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now yesterday we have discussed about prediction, ordinal logistic regression. I told you about the ordinal, that what it means, that. Okay, and then all this we have discussed. The scenario was that what we want to predict. Okay, so we were having a dependent variable. So dependent variable measured on a 4-point Likert scale, strongly disagree to strongly agree. And we were having two independent variables. So just make a note of these small things. Okay. So your dependent variable is a Likert scale. Okay. There you are just capturing the opinion of people on tax. And independent variable is age and income. Okay, fine. And then so what you are trying to do here is you want to you want to know the interaction between independent variables to predict the dependent variable. How independent variables are interacting with each other. Fine. So what we have done is tax is too high in this country. So this was asked, and then they were given a Likert scale to respond. Okay, and the researcher asked participants a number of simple questions, including whether they own any business, okay, or their age, or which political party they last voted for politics. Why I'm telling you all this? Because all these variables are there in their data sheet. Then you will ask that what is what. Is it fine? Clear it is? So this is how are they owning any business? Okay. So yes or no, based on that you have captured. Okay, and then you have captured the politics, that which party they belong to. So you have given them different options. Among them they have chosen, and then finally we come for the ordinary regression procedure. So I have already done it. I will just delete these variables so that I can create it in front of you again. Anybody remembers what actually we need to do now?
We'll go to analyze.
Yeah. So first of all, we need to create two dummy variables. Okay. Okay, so I am just clearing it from data sheet. So in front of you, I will create all these things again. If anybody has opened their laptop and you have SPSS, you can also run the sheet with me. Otherwise, no problem. So I have cleared everything. Okay. So now, first of all, they are telling you that this is the data sheet, which is visible to all of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total variables you see here, where text too high is your dependent variable, or rest everything is your independent variable. where we are more interested in age and politics, okay, to know that how it behaves, where age is your scale variable and politics your ordinal variable. This is clear to everybody, correct? Now, as I told you yesterday, now we have to create two dummy variables. Okay, so compute variables. So we have to compute the two dummy variables. These two dummy variables, why we have to? Because we have to check the multi-codiality and assumption of ordinal logistic regression. The number of variables can be created for any categorical variable is one less than the number of its categories. So here we are going to create the categorical variable, dummy variable for politics. So if you observe here, how many categories this variable has? Quickly tell me.
Two category, no, ma'am?
Three or two?
Oh, three.
Three categories.
Yes, 1, 2, 3.
So what it says that now you have to compute
Ordinal.
how many dummy variables now you need to create?
Three.
No. Read the statement. That's why I opened the PPT for your reference only. Tell me what is written here? The number of dummy variables to be created for any categorical variable is one less than the number of its categories. Getting it? You understand? So now for politics, we are going to create
3 minus 2. 3
dummy
minus
variable.
1.
Yeah.
3
So
minus
how
1
many
means
dummy variables I should create?
2. 3 minus 1.
Two dummy variables. Yeah. Two dummy variables I have to create. This is clear.
Okay.
If I was having here 5 categories, I would have created 4 dummy variables.
Okay.
So I'm having here 3 categories, so I have to create here 2 dummy variables. Next, how do I create it? So when you go for transform, you will see here an option: recode into same variable, recode into different variable. Okay. Now you have to recode into a different variable. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create a dummy variable for politics. So we cannot give it a same name and we want a different variable. So that is why we have to code it to different variable. Okay. So now if I click it, recode with different variable. Okay. Now, which variable I want to create dummy variable for politics, correct? So politics I have taken here. What is the new name I want to give it? As per sheet, I am giving it a new name as con. Okay. Anything you can give, no problem. Okay. This is clear. So this will be the name. And now I want to define new values. So new value, why I am doing all this? Because I need to check the multicollinearity. This is the method by which we do it. Okay. So now first of all, we have to do this value. 2 should be.
Ma'am, why we are using the word dummy variable? Like, what is the need of this here, dummy variable?
See the same variable you are measuring again and again so that you will see that multicollinearity exists or not.
Okay.
So for the same variable, you are just recoding into 2 different variables, and among those 3 variables, you can just run the correlation analysis or collinearity analysis. So that will tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So like this,
ma'am,
for each variable, you can do. Yeah.
if there
Tell
is
me.
multicollinearity, then there is the need of to create dummy variables.
No.
Is
This
it
is how we will check. First, we have to check
okay?
if it exists or not.
Okay.
Okay.
To check
So
the multicollinearity, we are creating dummy variables.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. I think I will go 2 step ahead, then everything will be clear how it looks. So now this wherever it was 2, I want it to become 1. Okay, and add. This is how we recode. Wherever it is system missing value, again it will be replaced by system missing value. And everything else, I want to become 0. So basically now it will be converted into a binary thing. 0 and 1. So whatever is 2, that will become 1. And apart from that, what we were having, totally we are having 3 categories, no? 1, 2, and 3. So whatever is 2 will become 1, and whatever is 1 and 3 will become 0. Are we getting it? Then we have continue. So this variable will be
Ma'am, if 2 becomes 1, then 3 becomes 2 and 4 becomes
no,
3.
that's what I'm telling. We are only making two categories.
Okay. Which two categories? Categories of politics, ma'am?
Yeah. See, in politics, you have given them three options. Which political party they prefer to.
Okay. Right, ma'am.
So now, whatever number of categories you have, you are dividing into two. That's it.
Right. 3 minus 1, 2. Okay.
Okay.
So,
So whoever has
regarding,
opted for 2, that will become 1. Whoever has
okay,
opted for 1 or 3, that will become 0.
whoever has opted for 2 and 3.
1 and 3. 2 we have make 1 now.
Okay.
2 you are making 1.
Okay.
So what is the remaining number? 1 and 3.
1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. So
So that will
else,
become
okay, you
0.
are making.
And missing value will remain
Okay,
as it
okay.
is. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank
So now if I continue. Change had become. Okay. Now politics will become con. And this is how I have defined old and new values. So now I can click OK. And first dummy variable will be created. Okay, this is the output stream. As of now, we don't know. So see, con has been created, correct? So only now 0 and 1 you see. You see, 3 has become 0, 1 has 2 has become 1, and everything has become 0. Is it fine? Okay. Next. So now one more dummy variable we have to create. So again we go to transform, recode into different variable. So again I press reset. I want politics and I want it to become LIB. Okay, this is the new name. I want it to be changed. And then I want to give the new values. So now 1 will become only 1. System missing values. Sorry. 1 will become 1. Add. System missing value will become system missing value only. Add. And then everything else will become 0. So now 2 and 3 will become 0 and 1 will remain 1. Okay. So add. So everything has come here and continue. So this is how it is. So now the next dummy variable is also being created. Do you see this? Now take a minute and just compare how it looks. Politics, con and lib. How it is lib.
In lib, ma'am, what we have done?
It is just a name, nothing else. Any name you can give it. It's a dummy variable, any name you can give it.
No, in
So-
con we have 1 and 3 has been transformed into 0 and 2 is transformed into 1
Yeah.
in con. And in lib,
Yes. In lib, 1 has 1, 1 remains 1 and 2 and 3 become 0.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. So
Okay.
both we have converted into binary.
Okay.
Correct? This is how this has been programmed, and we are just converting this data. So right now we are only interested into politics. So we have converted into two dummy variables. This much is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now comes your nominal variable. For that also we have to create the categories. Okay. So what is your dependent variable? Tax too high. Now observe how many categories are given there. Tax too high. Just check how many categories are given there.
4.
3, ma'am.
4 are there.
3.
So how many we have to create now?
4.
3.
3. Getting it? So now we have to create the similar way we are now creating it.
So, ma'am, 0, 0 is also one category in text too high. 0,
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3.
Whatever.
0, 1, 2, and 3. So these are 4 categories, you mean to say?
Yes, yes.
So we have to
Now I
create
have captured
3
the
minus
response.
1 means 3 dummy variables we have to create.
Actually, these are 4 categories. These are not 3 categories. 0, 1, 2, 3. So how many
Correct.
categories we have?
4
Four.
categories.
Okay,
But
so 4 categories we have. So how many dummy variables will create?
4 minus 1, 3.
3.
Yeah, 3 dummy variables will create.
3.
Done? Okay. So now
Done.
again, we have, I just showed you yesterday how we are creating the categories. So we have given them 4 responses. Okay, 0 is strongly disagree. So first of all, this becomes 1 and remaining else becomes 0.
0. Okay.
Okay, so we are following the same logic. So now we create, again we go to transform, recode into different variable. So this time again I press reset. Now I want this text to high
Text to high.
to become category 1. Okay. What are the things I want to define here? So for category 1, I want 0 to become
0 means
1.
0.
No, see here.
Achha.
If you go previous slide, see here. 0 becomes 1
Okay.
and everything else becomes 0. Correct? Same thing we are doing now. So 0 becomes 1,
Yeah.
add,
Add.
and everything else becomes 0.
Okay. Add.
So now we have 4 categories we were having. So for that we have converted into 2 categories. Correct? Clear as much? So this is our first category.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now I press OK. And the category 1 is being created. It has come. Similarly, I have to do it for category 2 and 3. So again, you see now how we have defined category 2 and 3 on the PPT side. Now 1 and 0 will become 1. 3 and 2 will become 0. Are you getting it? Look at the PPT. 0, 1, 2, 3. We have captured the responses. So 0 and 1 response should become 1 and
Yeah.
2 and 3 response should become 0. That is how we
Yes.
have to create the category 2.
0.
Okay, so now again I go to transform, recode into different
Recode.
variable.
Different.
I press reset, text to high. So this I want to define as category 2.
2.
Change. Now I want to define the values. Okay, so how we have to define the values? So now it is come as lowest through 1. Okay. So lowest through 1, that should become 1, which means 1 and 0 becomes 1. Correct?
Okay. Lowest through. Okay. Range lowest through.
Okay.
Okay.
And then everything else
Okay.
should become 1.
But ma'am, it will pick up only 2 values from the bottom of the
See, if you
0
see
and
the
1.
category,
Huh.
yeah,
G-
through
So,
lowest through 1,
but
which means
lowest
0 and 1 should
range,
become 1.
ma'am. But SPSS will recognize only 2 numbers as lowest of the given range. Only the last 2 readings it will pick up as the lowest, or it can
What
pick
last
up
one you said?
a range lowest through.
Mhm.
It has picked up 1
It
and
will take as 1 and 0 equal
and
to
0.
1 and less than 1.
Okay.
Equal to 1 and less than 1 will become 1.
Okay, that is less than. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And everything else will become
1. Everything else become 0.
yeah. Getting it?
Madam, in this case, everything is
Okay,
becoming
this
1.
is, yeah. Wait, this is wrong. This I have to. Else everything else will become 0.
0.
Not 1.
Oh.
Fine.
Fine.
This is how we have defined now. See 2 now. If I go to PPT, 2 and 3 should become 0. 0 and 1 becomes 1.
1.
That is what we have defined.
Correct.
Okay. So this is our category 2. So now continue and okay. So your category 2 is again created. Done. Then we see what we are doing for category 3. See now, you see, understand how the category 3 is being defined. 0, 1,
0,
2
1, 2,
should become
1.
1. And
And
3 should become
0.
0. Okay.
Yes.
So this is our category
Yes,
3.
ma'am.
So now I just go to transform, recode into different variable, reset, tax too high, this becomes category
Category.
3, change old and new values. So now first of all, lowest through 2. Okay. So this should become what? 1.
1, 1.
And everything else should become 0.
0. Lowest through 2 means 0, 1, and 2.
Yeah. 0, 1, 2 becomes 1. If I go back to
Okay.
PPT, see,
Hmm.
0, 1, 2 should become 1.
Okay.
And 3 should become 0.
0.
Okay. So this is how your category 3 has been created. So all the dummy variables has been created. Now for independent variable and for dependent variable, we have created it. Done.
Hmm.
Okay. Now what we have to do? So this is how our ordinal variable also we have created into the dummy variables. Now we need to check for multi-collinearity. Okay, how do we check it? Okay, so the option comes in the regression window under linear only. So I will just show you the option regression, linear, and under linear you need to just select all these options and then you check for their collinearity. Okay, so analyze, regression, and linear. So I'll just reset it. Yeah. So dependent variable is what? Tax too high. Correct. And then what are our independent variables? Age we have taken. Then we have also taken the dummy variables. Okay. And business owner. So these 4, we are just doing a random check. Okay. Whichever variables you want, you can take. Okay, then that is done. And then statistics you go, and here you will see their option. We do not need anything else. We just want to check the collinearity diagnostics. So this is the direct test by which you can check it. Okay. So then you will just press this button, continue, and
So, ma'am, in this
then
case,
you will just
ma'am,
yeah.
in this case, for tax too high, so you are calculating the multi-collinearity only between these 3
Yeah,
variables.
you can take yes.
Congress, Kong, lib, and business owner.
Yes. So now the this collinearity values have come. Okay. So if you see here that value should be, is it visible or should increase the size?
Increase size, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is how the values have come. Correct?
VIF
So
value
to
is more
break
than 1.
to break the multi-collinearity assumption, it should be more than 10, which is not. If the assumption is not meeting, that means that if you are not meeting the assumption of multipolarity, then the VIF value will come more than 10. Okay, that is it. So every time it is coming less than 10. Okay, now we go to the next step. Now separate the binomial regression if you want to run. That option is also there. Anyways, our data is meeting the requirement now for binomial regression. So now for binomial regression, what you need to do is that you go to regression, and there you will directly find binary logistics. Okay. And again, what is your dependent variable?
Text to high.
Yeah, text to high. Okay, so now what we do is that now we have converted it into the binary variable. So any category we can take. Okay, so now I'm taking here category 1 because category 1, 2, 3 only are binary. Text to high is not a binary response, correct? Are you understanding it? Okay, and then you have to take the covariates. So what are your covariates here?
Income and age.
Yeah, so exactly the same data I'm taking here. Okay. So here I'm taking again business owner, and then I'm taking politics, then I'm taking age. These are my independent variables. Okay. And then you go to categorical. Then categorical variables, you have business owner, and then you have politics. These are your categorical covariates. This is not the categorical covariate. That is why we have not taken it here. Okay, it will take time for you to practice. It will not come so soon.
Correct,
Okay, I'm
correct,
just
correct.
telling you how to run it, so that again and again, at least 5-6 times when you run it, then it will come. It will not come in one go. Okay, and the same thing here it is written, rerun the analysis for category 2 and 3 as well. So same thing you can run it for those categories also. Okay, so this is how you run the binary logistic regression. So for each category you can run it. Okay, the interpretation remains same in that case also. You will be getting a model fit and everything. So now this is how we have defined binary logistic regression. So now I just press it OK. It will come. So this is the same thing which you do for your regression equation also. Okay. And only significance value you need to see. So which variable in the equation is significant? That is only age. And politics too also. Okay, that was your dummy variable. So this is how it has come. Now we can run the
Madam, politics
ordinal
1 and
logistic.
politics 2, from where those have come? Politics 1, politics 2 in the output analysis?
That is dummy variable. No? Covariate, you are taking them as a covariate, correct?
Okay, okay, okay. Okay.
So that is from where it is coming. Okay. Now you go for ordinal logistic regression finally. So again, here you need to go general linear model, and there you need to generalized linear model, and there you need to select generalized linear model. Once you select it, everything will come. So here I have mentioned everything step by step. Okay, so generalized linear model, you have selected it. and then type of model. So what type of model we want? We want ordinal logistic. Okay. Already I have selected it. That is why it is coming as. You need to select it. You want me to reset it? I can reset. Right. So by default it comes like this. So now I wanted ordinal logistic. If you want to understand more meaning, you can read it in detail, like choose one of the model types listed below or specify a custom combination of distribution and link function. If you remember the simple regression, what you run, that is only between scale and scale variable. You remember linear regression, what you were running, correct? So linear regression is basically between your two same category of variables, but here you can take any type of variable. So ordinal response you have taken, okay, ordinal logistic, and then you go for response. In response, you only need to take the dependent variable, that is text to high, we have taken, and then you go for predictors. So in predictors, you can take business owner, and then you can also take politics. Then you go for model. So in model, you have business owner, and also you have politics. Yeah, here you have to take age also. That's why age was not coming. Yet. And then this also business owner, politics, age. Then you go for estimation. So here you need to click on the, we want only Fisher method, which is the most appropriate one. And then we go for statistics. So in the statistics, I reset it. So I also want include exponential parameter. Everything else will come. So all this is same as your normal regression. Only thing is that chi-square statistics. So it will come as vault. It is just the name of chi-square statistics here, nothing much. Okay, everything remains same. So only the layout is different, otherwise it remains same, and we know the same way we have to interpret it. Okay. So this is what we have taken. I think everything has been reset. I will just do it quickly. So ordinal logistic, and then in response, you need to select the dependent variable, that is y. You go for predictor. So here you need to go for factor. Everything is mentioned here. You just need to follow it as it is. Okay, business owner, and then politics is given. Then covariance, age. Then you come for model. So here in model, what all we need? Business owner, politics, and age. Business owner, politics, and age. Then we go for estimation. So in estimation, I want Fisher. Everything is same, and in statistics, we want bond and include yeah. So everything is done. So we click on OK. So finally, your logistic regression is being done. Categorical. This is how you run it. So you see that all the three are coming significant, which means they all are contributing in your dependent variable, that is text to high. So business owner, politics, and age all are influencing the prediction of tax will be high or low.
Okay.
Same thing. It is your same regression equation.
Okay. But in percentage wise, can we know how much is being explained by all these three factors?
Percentage wise in the sense?
For example, how much percentage of dependent variable is explained by all these three independent variables? Can we
Coefficient
know?
you want to see, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, see, first you need to see from here, which all are significant.
Okay.
Okay, so which all? So in tax too high. So here three categories are given here, 0, 1 and 2. You have created three categories, no? If you remember.
Yes.
For tax, you categories,
Correct.
you have created three categories, no? So they all are significant.
How significant, right?
Yeah. Then business owner also
And for
significant.
politics, we get
Politics is not.
yes.
First category is not coming as significant. Second one is coming. And then age is also coming. Okay. So this is how it comes.
Can we make a regression equation also, ma'am, in this case?
Right now we cannot make because we have not defined it actually.
Okay.
So this is how it comes.
So at the moment, what we are doing, just checking whether the significance is there of the independent variables or not.
Yes. So most of our variables have come there, which are significant. Okay. So here, if you want to interpret it like that, you can write it. I think I have given you already shared the handouts. So there it is already written that how you need to write your interpretation. So here like test of model effect for Wald chi-square. So in politics, you will see that it is coming as 14.427 and 001. So political party last voted for has a statistically significant effect on prediction of whether tax is thought to be high or not.
Okay.
Because it is
so that means
significant. Same thing is for age,
Okay,
same thing is for business owner.
But who is the last political party? How can we know in this case, ma'am?
We only have given them option. In our questionnaire, it will be written, correct?
Okay.
Fine. So like that it is. Okay. See, it is like last voted. See, in election, let us say you have created a survey for 100 people and you have asked them that which party you have voted for. So for them, it is last voted party, correct?
But in our labels,
your
did
job
you
is
define?
just to find out. Your job is just to find out which party they have voted, whether that influences their tax or not. So we have nothing to do with which party they have voted.
Okay, but in our example, in our data, the political parties were 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So did we label them that which is the last political party? Okay.
No.
So in the interpretation in yellow remarks, I think we cannot write the interpretation based on the available information, right, ma'am?
Yeah. So we see what we want. We are interested in. We are only interested in knowing that whether the last voted political party, do they think that it has influenced that tax should be high or low?
Okay.
That much only. Whichever party they have voted.
Okay.
So we are only interested in knowing the influence of last voted party on tax.
Okay.
So it is like that. If I vote for this party, tax will increase. If I vote for this party, tax will increase. Like that.
Okay. So I will go for last political party because they are in line with my thinking that tax is too high. So that they can reduce the tax. Okay.
Yes. Understood, no?
But ma'am, still, I think background knowledge about the which political party was voted or not, I think that is not given in our data, right?
Yeah. It is 1, 2, 3. So you can choose any party. 1, 2, 3. It can be any party.
Okay.
You understood? We have given them 3 options, na?
You have given 3 options, but since you have not labeled them which one is the last voted party, so based on the data given by you, we cannot say which political party it was.
It is not our job to know, na? We are not interested in which party they have voted for. We are only interested in knowing that whichever party they have voted, whether it influences tax or not.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
See, if I ask you, if I tell you in simple words, I am only interested in knowing that age, whether age is influencing that decision of tax which will be high or not. I'm not interested in knowing your age. I
Okay.
only want to know that whether age is influencing it or not.
Mm-hmm.
That is the same thing. So here people are trying to associate political party which they have voted and how the scenario of tax will be in future. Are they related or not?
Okay. So whatever the political parties they voted for,
Yeah.
so out of 1, 2, and 3, based on the given data, so
Yeah.
we are concluding this. The
Yes.
political party last
Here only the conclusion comes of your test also. Why did you run this test? So why did you run this test? Because I wanted to know that whether my vote of political party can predict the
Okay.
level of tax in future or not.
Okay. So based on the collective voting pattern, we can say whatever voting was done by the population, based on that, we are relating political party with the thinking of tax is high or not.
Yeah, that is how you are doing this. So now I think if you think for 2 minutes, then you will be also able to associate how this logistic regression or binary logistic regression is different from your linear regression. Can you solve the same problem there?
No,
There
that is
you are,
very simple.
yeah,
That
there
is
you are
very
just
simple.
calculating the influence. You are not doing the,
Correct.
see, what we are doing here is the predictive analytics.
नहीं
Here
मैम
we are predicting
prediction
for
तो वो भी है
future. No,
मैडम
no. There,
prediction तो
see
वो भी
what
है.
happens there. There you have historical data,
Yes.
and based on that you are predicting for future.
हाँ, correct.
Do you have historical data here? That how the tax scenario will be?
But
Yes.
People are just predicting about tax. That this is what I have done. So this is how it will happen in future.
okay.
If you remember in our normal linear regression, what happens that we know that in 1990 this was the same, in 80 it was the same, in 100 it was the same. So in coming years, what will be the same? These
So
type
you
of problems you solve there, correct?
okay. So you mean to say in the data which you presented,
Yeah.
the respondents have selected the political party
Yes.
instead of voting based
Yes.
on which they think that they are going to consider the tax rate as very high.
Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, and the data collected for this test, we will use the Likert scale in
Yes.
our
Yes.
questionnaire.
As that I told you in the beginning only. For your dependent variable, you are using ordinal scale, and for your independent variables, you can use any.
Okay. Yeah.
That there is no limitation about it. That is the beauty of this regression.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so it is like that. So now, based on politics, based whether you own a business or not, and based on your age, how you are predicting, what is your view about the tax? That tax will be too high in future? Strongly agree, disagree, like that. That is how you have taken their response. And now you are trying to find out whether it is significant or not. So if it is significant, which means that yes, people, those who have voted for last party, there is an association. They say that last voted party will definitely help them in predicting how the tax rate will be in future. Understood?
Ma'am, if we prepare the questionnaire on the basis of yes, no, then we can like apply the test on that also, on that type of answers, like yes, no, if we ask the respondent.
But that will not be detailed analysis. See, what you can do, why we are doing it, all the circles, why? Because we do not want to give them yes or no option.
Okay.
You understood? If you only give them that are you happy or sad, they will only tell yes or no. But
Yes,
between yes or no, also there are so many emotions. You want to capture everything.
Okay.
So to them, you are giving a Likert scale, 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, whatever it is. But in your system, you are only entering 2 categories.
Okay.
If I had to give them yes or no, then there is no need of doing all this conversion, categorical, dummy variable and all. And straight away I can run the analysis.
On that basis, we can only present the graphical representation in our analysis.
Yes.
And if we want to apply the hypothesis or we want to do test hypothesis, we have to prepare the Likert scale questionnaire. on that behalf we can apply all these tests on that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Understood. Because
Yeah.
if I only give them yes or no, my study beauty will go, na?
Okay, ma'am, sometimes we prepare both type of questions. Like we ask
Yes.
in the Likert scale also, and we ask sometimes yes or
Like in
no.
discriminant, you will only give them two options. Are you loyal or not?
Okay.
So only classify into two groups. Will you shop again or not? Yes or no?
Okay.
That time you are only doing discriminant. You are just discriminating them into two groups.
Okay.
But here you are predicting for future. So both have
Predicting.
different approaches. Here you are not classifying them.
Okay. The main criteria is that like how we like, think that which test will apply on this condition. Okay.
Yes. Is it done?
Yeah.
So this is how it comes. Okay. So interpretation, I think, is already there with you, so you can read and then. So now we can go for discriminant. Okay. See, here is again for age. It has been written. So an increase in age expressed in years was associated with an increase in the odds of considering tax too high with an odds of 1.274. Okay, that is your beta value, and significance level was 0.001. So this is how we have interpreted. Done. So, now we proceed for discriminant analysis.
मैडम आपका वीडियो 2-3 बार देखना पड़ेगा पूरा समझने के लिए.
हाँ sir, because it is like a very loaded session, na? So
बहुत
it will not come
अच्छा
in one
सेशन.
day.
सेशन तो अच्छा है, बस एक प्रैक्टिस और एक बार दोबारा 2-3 बार देख के तभी कुछ आगे बढ़ पाएंगे. थैंक यू वेरी मच दैट यू शेयर्ड द डेटा मैडम.
Yeah, I will share all the handouts also.
हाँ.
So that means you will be able to run it.
हाँ. बाद में तो शिवांगी मैडम से एक डिमांड करके वर्कशॉप सेपरेटली रखवाएंगे कि भैया धीरे-धीरे होले वाली सेशन में.
ये एडवांस भी है ना, बेसिक और अच्छे से समझ में आ जाए तो ये भी और अच्छे से समझ में आ जाएगी.
देविका मैम आपको तो अच्छी तरह समझ आ रहा है ना.
नहीं मुझे तो नहीं. मैं आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड मोर एंड मोर बिकॉज बेसिक ठीक है समझ में आया, लेकिन ये बहुत एडवांस है ना. अभी हमने किया भी नहीं इसका वर्क रिग्रेशन, ये लॉजिस्टिक रिग्रेशन और समथिंग. Actually, I'm analyzing my question, and that's why I just I'm asking these type of questions, and I have a lot of confusions regarding this. कि कैसे करना है, क्या करना है इसमें.
नहीं मैडम ने एडवांस लेवल का पढ़ा लिया ना, तो अभी बेसिक जो चीजें हैं वो इजीली समझ आ जाएंगी, आपको मैं बता दूं.
हाँ. और वो सबसे ज्यादा YouTube लिंक बहुत हेल्प करेगी मैम की.
हाँ. Yes.
The basic actually is very easy. It's just data entry, that's it. And then pressing buttons. That's
हाँ, yes madam, you are right.
SPSS is actually the most user-friendly thing.
अगर वो मैनुअली जो करते थे ना मैडम, एनोवा वगैरह की कैलकुलेशंस, वो मतलब घंटे लग जाते हैं उसमें. It takes hours together to solve a simple question.
So now we go for discriminant analysis.
Discriminant analysis and discriminant regression, these are same thing?
Discriminant analysis, discriminant regression. What is discriminant regression?
Where the variables are category variables, regression of categorical variables. When the dependent variable is categorical.
That only we have done, no? That only we did, no? Logistic.
Okay. So logistic regression and okay.
Okay, now it's visible, the PPT?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So now we go for discriminant analysis. It is actually easy to run. It is not like complex like your logistic regression. It's very easy to run, but understanding the requirement is little difficult. Okay. So now, in which case we have to run it? So this is just a comparison, that similarities and difference between ANOVA regression and discriminant analysis. So in ANOVA, that number of dependent variables and number of independent variables. So in everything, you only can have one dependent variable, but you can have multiple independent variables. Okay, and then what are the differences? That nature of dependent variables. So you can only have metric and ANOVA and regression, but you can have categorical variables in discriminant analysis. And the nature of independent variables. So here in you will be having categorical independent variables, and in regression you can have both metric. We are here talking only about simple regression, not logic. Okay, and then discriminant, you need to have a metric. Metric means numbers. Okay, this is how the brief comparison is there between ANOVA regression and discriminant analysis. So it is a technique for analyzing data when the criteria or dependent variable is categorical. Okay, and the predictor and independent variables are interval in nature. Why do we need to conduct it? Because we need to develop discriminant function or linear combination of the predictor of independent variable, which will best discriminate between the categories of the criteria of dependent variable. So basically, you will have a dependent variable, and that you have to classify. Okay, for that you are obtaining discriminant function. You are classifying it into categories. Okay, getting it. So how many categories you will be having here? 2. So discriminant analysis basically will divide your dependent variable into 2 categories. So how you need to have the question in your questionnaire, that are you loyal or not? Will you come back to our website or not? Okay, did you like the service or not? So like that. So you need to have a dependent variable, and that based on that you need to categorize it. Again, if you have not captured your dependent variable in this format, you can just recode it the way I have told you. Okay. So in that case, let us say you are having a 5-point Likert scale, which you want to convert into a dependent variable of for discriminant analysis use. Just recode it into different variable where you just make 2 categories, so that you can choose which 2 categories you want to make. Okay, like that you just convert your in question. Examination of whether significant differences exist among the groups in terms of the predictor variables. Both the groups are showing same behavior, or both the groups are showing different behavior. So let us say that you have divided into 2 groups, loyal and disloyal. So now loyal, how they are showing their behavior for online shopping or any product, and disloyal people, how they are showing their behavior towards the product. This, if you want to analyze, you need to go for discriminant analysis. Are you getting the objective? Determination of which predictor variable contribute to most of the intergroup difference. Okay, so that is your cross-section analysis. Classification of class cases to one of the groups based on the value of the predictor variable. An evaluation of the accuracy of classification. So the main agenda of using discriminant analysis is dividing your dependent variables into 2 groups, and based on those 2 groups, you are going to do the further analysis. So those who are loyal, who are those people? Let us say you want to see that. What is their age? What is their occupation? What is their income? You want to see disloyal people. So what is their demographic? You can know that. Are you understanding the purpose of this test?
Hello,
Clear so
ma'am.
far? Yeah. Is it clear so far? Tell me. So far, is it clear?
Ma'am, in case of, for example, there are several types of political parties, right? And based on some independent variables, if we want to predict which political party a respondent will go for,
Yeah.
So through this analysis we can do something we can predict.
See, you
For a-
can know that, let us say you can give them two parties. Okay, which
Okay.
party they have voted. So now
Right.
you have divided it into two groups.
Right, ma'am.
Let us say you have 300 people. So 123 are going for party A and the remaining people are going for party B.
Huh.
Now you want to further know that these 123 people who are going for party A, who are those people?
Okay.
What is their demography?
Hmm.
So that analysis will come from discriminant analysis.
Okay, so if we extract some independent variables from the analysis of those 120 people or 180 people separately, so
Yeah.
based on those independent variables, we want to do this discriminant analysis. You mean to say
Yes.
that?
Case by case, you will be able to know now. Let us say
Okay.
you have 1,000 respondents. So case 1 belongs to this group.
Okay.
Case 2 belongs to this group. So
Right.
then you can go for the further analysis of them. So those who are going for this party, what is there? Let us say now you want to compare the advertisement, okay, or the brand. Those which brand you like. So only you have two brands given them. You want
Yes.
to analyze that what is happening, what type of people are going for that brand, what I am lagging for.
But
This gives you a detailed view of your respondents.
but suppose
If
if
they are
I
disloyal,
but if in case there are three brands, let us say Bata shoes,
no,
Reebok.
only two are applicable here.
Mm-hmm.
We are only discriminated into two groups.
Okay. We
At a
cannot
time
go
only
for,
two.
we
At a
cannot
time
go-
only two.
Ma'am, can we go for this discriminant analysis for more than one group?
At a time only two you can run.
Acha.
Okay. Either this or that.
Okay. In SPSS also only two is
Yeah, that is all.
okay.
So from the beginning only your data has to be in that. But your dependent variable only, you need to have only two categories basically.
Okay, ma'am.
That is the only limitation here.
Okay.
If you have more than two, in that case you have to recode. But again, you have to convert into two categories. You cannot have more than two.
Ma'am, here, ma'am, in this case, what would be the hypothesis here in discriminant analysis?
In discriminant analysis, if you want to know the loyalty of your consumers, whether they are loyal for your product or not.
So for that, we selected two type of products.
No. You are just
No, two categories. Okay, two.
Yes. Are you loyal or not?
Okay, two type of persons, like two type of groups.
So you want to say that majority of the shoppers are loyal.
Okay.
So we have to convert dependent variable into binary data basically.
No, first requirement is that you collect a dependent variable in questionnaire into two categories only, either yes or no.
Okay.
If you have not done so, let us say your guide tells you later that you have to, let us say that you have done a study on perception and attitude. And then later they feel the need that you also need to capture loyalty. Okay, in that case, you need to convert your dependent variable into by this thing, two categories only. So recode it to two categories. So make those 5 categories into two categories.
Ma'am, in this one would be the dependent variable and another two would be independent variable.
What one or two?
Like one would like if we talk about the brand, like we want to know that which brand are liked by the person, then the brand would be dependent variable, and the two type of categories persons would be the independent variables.
No. It is your response. How it can become independent or dependent variable. If I'm asking are you loyal or not, you are telling me yes or no. So that is the response of that question, no? That is dependent variable only.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So the purpose of this test is clear to everybody, correct? Okay. So now, so when the criteria variable has two categories, the technique is known as two groups discriminant analysis. You are discriminating the entire data into two groups. All the respondents you are dividing into two groups. Okay. When there are 3 or more categories are involved, the technique is referred to as multiple discriminant analysis. Okay, the main distinction is that the two group case, it is possible to derive only one discriminant function. In multiple discriminant analysis, more than one function may be computed. So in general, with G groups and K predictors, it is possible to describe up to smaller of G to -1 or K discriminant functions. What I want to say here is that if you are having more than two categories, so only 2 categories you can run at a time. So if you want to have more than 2 categories, in that case, you have to run this test again and again. And then you can obtain multiple discriminant functions. Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay. So then the first function has the highest ratio between groups or within group sum of squares. The second function uncorrelated with the first has the second highest ratio and so on. So however, not all the functions may be statistically significant. So let us say you have given them 5 brands, okay, and then you want to know. So in that case, everything will not become significant. Okay, only few discriminant functions only will be able to obtain. But preferably you should only have 2 group discriminant analysis. So this is how your analysis will look. So discriminant analysis model involves linear combinations of the following form. So D is discriminant score and B naught is your constant. Okay, and all the B's are coefficient or weight and predictor and independent variable. So you can have n number of independent variables and one dependent variable. So coefficient or weight are estimated so that the groups differ as much as possible on the values of the discriminant function. This occurs when the ratio between group sum of squares to within group sum of squares for the distance. So basically these B, you can have this, let us say age is there, income is there, occupation is there, okay, marital status is there. So everything you can have together and then you can make a discriminant function. Based on that, again you will have an analysis that who is loyal, who is disloyal, or who is saying yes to your brand, who is saying no to your brand, or whatever study you are conducting. So what are the statistics associated with this analysis? Canonical correlation. So canonical correlation measures the extent of association between the discriminant scores and the groups. So it is measure of association between a single discriminant function and a set of dummy variables that define the group membership. So what are the groups that you are having in your data? Okay, let us say in your age, how many groups you are having, or in income, how many groups you are having. So what is their association with your discriminant function? That is what you can measure through canonical correlation. Centroid. The centroid is the mean value for the discriminant score for a particular group. So there are many centroids as there are groups. So there is one for each group. So mean for a group on all the functions are the group centroids. So every variable will have its own centroid as well as the categories of that variable will also have their own centroid. Are you understanding it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then comes classification matrix, sometimes also called as confusion or prediction matrix. So the classification matrix contains the number of correctly classified and misclassified cases. Okay, how many you could classify and how many you could not classify. So that also will be known. And then discriminant function coefficient. So this is the multiplier of variable basically when the variable are the original unit of measurement. And the discriminant is for the unstandardized coefficients are multiplied by the value of the variable. These products are summed up and added to the constant term to obtain the discriminant score. Okay, so this already we have taken here. So in the equation, as I have told you already, this is the equation. Okay, so here you have discriminant score, discriminant coefficient, okay, and then you have predictor or independent variable, whatever it is. Eigenvalue. So for each discriminant function, the eigenvalue is the ratio between group or to within group sums of squares. So large eigenvalues imply superior functions. That's the only interpretation of eigenvalues here. F value and their significance. So these are the calculated from a one-way ANOVA with the grouping variable serving as a categorical independent variable. So each predictor in term serves as the metric dependent variable in the ANOVA. Group means and group standard deviation is computed for each predictor for each group. Pooled within group correlation. These are all terms you will see in the output. That is why it has been explained here. So the pooled within group correlation matrix is computed by averaging the separate covariance matrix for all the groups. And then you have a standardized discriminant function coefficients. So that is basically the discriminant function coefficient, which is used as a multiplier when the variables have been standardized to a mean of 0 and a variance of 1. Okay, then you have structure correlation, that is referred to as discriminant loading. The structure correlation represents the simple correlation between the predictor and the discriminant function. Total correlation matrix, if the cases are treated as if they were from a single sample and the correlations computed, total correlation matrix can be obtained. Okay, that is Wilks lambda, so sometimes also called as U statistic. So Wilks for each predictor is a ratio of the within group sum of the squares to the total sum of the squares. Its value varies between 0 and 1. So large values of near to 1 indicate that group means do not seem to be different, and small values of near 0 indicate that the group means seem to be different. Okay, so whatever groups you are classifying, are they same or they different? So how do we conduct it? So first of all, you need to formulate a problem. So estimate the discriminant function coefficient and then determine the significance of the function, interpret the result, and assess the validity of the analysis. So how do you formulate the problem? So you need to identify the objective, the criteria variable, and the independent variable. Criteria variable, which is nothing but your dependent variable, must consist of two or more mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive category. Mutually exclusive means they cannot happen together. Either you are loyal to the brand or you are not loyal to the brand. Can they happen same time? Both the things?
No.
So this is how, so why we are discussing it, that when you are making a dependent variable, when you are aiming to conduct discriminant analysis, this type of question has to be there in your questionnaire, where you are giving a question or a statement and where you are giving at least two categories and two responses which are mutually exclusive. The predictor variable should be
Ma'am, can you please explain what is the meaning of collectively exhaustive categories?
collectively exhaustive categories, that it means that if you open together, if all the categories you add, nothing else is left.
Okay.
If I say that, are you loyal, and if I have given them both the options, yes or no,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything else which is left which I should give them?
No.
No, no. So that
No.
is how. But if I only give them yes and can't say, in that case, does that make sense?
No.
No, no. So that is how I have to,
Okay.
give them the option. That is how I have to capture the response. That is how I have to frame the category of the criteria variable to capture the response.
Okay.
That I
So,
am not leaving any corner there.
so collectively exhaustive category, suppose if we go for can't say also, that means there will be maximum three options. One,
Yes,
two,
yes,
yes, no, and can't say.
yes. But you cannot say no and can't say no.
Yes, they are mutually exclusive. So
Yes,
at the same time, you mean to say the criterion variable has to be mutually exclusive as well as collectively
yes,
exhaustive categories.
yes, yes, yes.
That means
And then
from the limited categories only.
yes, yes. The predictor variable should be selected based on a theoretical model or previous research or the experience of the researcher. You just cannot ask anything or any problem. You cannot just make discriminant analysis. There has to be a basis. Let us say you're going to capture the loyalty. So there has to be a research gap. There has to be a requirement from review of literature that this criteria variable has to be measured. Then only you need to go for it. So if you see from logistic regression, discriminant analysis, cluster analysis, or conjoint analysis, very rarely these tests will be used because the formulation of problem rarely happens for these kind of tests. Okay, because this is not applicable in each and every study, specifically only. So one part of the sample called the estimation or analysis sample is used for estimation of the discriminant function. The other part is the holdout or validation sample is reserved for validating the discriminant function. That is, you can just skip this part. Only you need to know about is that how you need to define your criteria variable. And for independent variable, you do not have any certain limitations. You can have anything. Okay. So now I want you to just focus here. This is a data sheet. Looks like here. So serial number has been taken. Okay. Report visit, annually family income, attitude towards travel, importance attached to family vacation, household size, age of head of the household, amount spent on family vacation. Okay, so this is how you have captured the data. So the second one, so the resort visit first. Okay, so the resort visit second. The same type of data we have taken here also. Okay. Yeah, you need to understand the nature of data, what type of data we have taken here. So if I say the first thing, it is again just a serial number. Report with resort visit, you have taken 2 times, okay, 1 visit or 2 visits. Then you have taken the annual family income, where it is a scale variable. Attitude towards travel, you have given them a scale, okay, on a scale of 1 to 8 or 1 to 10. What is your attitude towards travel? Importance attached to family vacation, okay, that is again a scale that you have given them. Household size, this is the number you are capturing. Age, scale variable, and then it is a categorical. Medium, high, low. Okay. Getting it? So this is how we have information on resort visit. We have taken. So now hold out sample. So number you have taken here, resort visit. So how do we conduct a discriminant analysis? The direct method involves estimating the discriminant function so that all the predictors are included simultaneously. In stepwise discriminant analysis, the predictor variables are entered sequentially based on their ability to discriminate among the groups. You can go for any. Okay. So this is how the result of discriminant analysis comes. So group means so 1 and 2, and their income, travel, vacation, household size, age. So their mean values are there. Okay. Group standard deviations are also given. Pooled within group correlation matrix. And Wilks use statistics and univariate F ratio. As we told you that if it is close to 1, that means it is strong. If it is close to 0, it is weak. So here every time we are getting it close to 1. Most of the time it is close to 1. What it means that all these variables, apart from income, travel, vacation, household size, and age, everything else is playing a strong role in predicting how many visits to resort they are having, 1 or 2.
Ma'am, it means, for example, 0.92 for travel. That means if individually this variable is taken, so that means 92% is explained by travel, the number of visits to the resort. So number of visits to the resort.
No, it is kind of influence.
Okay. So, okay, 92% is having
your attitude towards travel, your attitude towards vacation, your household size, your age. Okay, and then again
our dependent variable is number of visits to the resort or something else.
Yes. Number of visits to the resort, based on that you are discriminating them.
Right. So these are my discriminating factors: income, travel, vacation, household size, and age. Ma'am, if I study for travel purpose 0.92479, that means alone travel is having 92% influence on the number of visits to the.
You forgot to see the significance. So first you need to see the significance, which all are the significant. That only you need to interpret.
Okay. So income is there.
So whichever is significant, that only will go for your discriminant function. Others will not go.
Okay, so travel will not go. Okay.
Yeah. So out of these five, income is
Travel
significant,
and household size.
vacation is significant, and household size is significant.
So three variables will go.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the three variables on which you are majorly discriminating your respondents in group 1 and group 2.
Okay. Group 1
Is it
means?
clear?
Group 1 means
Group 1 and 2. How many visits they have to resort? 1 or 2?
Okay.
Then, ma'am, Wilkes value what represents?
So now once you see the significance, after that you go for Wilks value. So now you see 4.45 here, and here it is 0.82, and here it is 0.65. So higher is the value, higher is the impact on your discriminant function.
Okay.
But
Getting it?
it may not be significant.
It may not be?
Significant.
No, first
As
you
for
have to
example,
take the significance value.
okay.
Whichever is significant, for that only you need to look at the Wilks value.
Okay.
But
If it is not significant, you do not need to check this also. Yeah.
But ma'am, travel is, even though as per significance it is insignificant, but influence level is 0.92, which is highest, which is
Yeah,
high.
but it is not significant. No, that is why we are
Okay.
not taking it.
Okay.
If it is significant, then only we need to interpret this value.
Because age is also, if we know the influence, 95.44%, but it is insignificant. So that means Wilks test and Wilks and significance level, there is no correlation.
Yes. Then, and now canonical discriminant function comes here. So for function 1, so eigenvalue is 1.78. Okay, variance 100%, and then again Wilks lambda if you see 0.35. So star marks the one canonical discriminant function remaining in the analysis. Okay, for function 1, standard canonical discriminant function coefficient. So these are the coefficients for your function 1. Okay. So this is your actual thing which we need to actually report. So actually group 1 and 2, predicted number of cases 1550. Okay, group membership 12 and 3. So in group 2, 15. So like that it is. This is how you have to predict it. So percentage of grouped cases correctly classified as 90%. Classification result for cases not selected for use in the analysis. So in this, you have just not taken few cases. You have taken as the hold out sample, but actually you can take the entire sample and then you will be getting only one result. So that's not the problem when you're actually running the analysis. So conducting discriminant analysis determine the significance of discriminant functions. So null hypothesis, in the population, the means of all discriminant functions in all groups are equal can be statistically tested. So in SPSS, this test is based on Wilks lambda. If several functions are tested simultaneously, as in the case of multiple discriminant analysis, the Wilks lambda statistics is the product of the univariate for each function. The significance level is estimated based on a chi-square transformation of the statistic. If the null hypothesis is rejected, indicating significant discrimination, one can proceed for interpreting the result. So basically, you need to make a null and alternative hypothesis for your discriminant analysis. Okay, the interpretation of the discriminant Bayes or coefficient is similar to that in the multiple regression analysis. Multiple regression, if you remember what happens, that multiple independent variables you have. So in that case, each variable will have its own weight, and together you will be having one discriminant score or regression coefficient. Okay. So given the multipolarity in the predictor variable, there is no ambiguous measure of the relative importance of the predictors in discriminating between the groups. So we can obtain some idea about the relative importance of the variables by examining the absolute magnitude of the standardized discriminant function coefficient. So that will help you to make your final discriminant equation. So the another aid to the interpreting discriminant analysis results is to develop a characteristic profile for each group. As I told you at the beginning, for each respondent, now you can develop a profile that which group they belong to, and then you can, if you want to have case by case analysis, that also you can do. So discriminant weights estimated by using the analysis sample are multiplied by the values of the predictor variables. So what you need to do is that in the cases are then assigned to groups based on their discriminant scores and an appropriate decision rule. So the hit ratio or the percentage of cases correctly classified can then be determined by summing the diagonal elements and dividing by the total number of cases. It is always helpful to compare the percentage of cases correctly classified by discriminant analysis to the percentage that would be obtained by chance. So classification accuracy achieved by discriminant analysis should be at least 25% greater than the obtained by chance. So we actually look for at least 80% accuracy in these models. 25% is actually very less. So we do not look for that low. So this is how the three group discriminant analysis looks. So you can have three groups there. In that case, here you are having a group means is amount. Okay, how much amount you are spending there. So again, you need to see for the significance values, and then you go for Wilks lambda. So only two are significant here: income and travel. And eigenvalues, if you see for first function, the eigenvalue is quite high, and for second it is very less. So it makes the two canonical discriminant functions remaining in the analysis. So again, you are, as I told you that when you are running three, that time you are coming out with two functions, one and two again. You cannot have more than two. So this is how your result looks when you run the data sheet into discriminant analysis. So if you see the accuracy, correctly classified 86.6%, here it is 75%. Because there will be few cases which you are not able to classify. So function 1, function 2, and how it has been classified. So as I told you in the beginning, all the groups need to have a centroid. Even your discriminant score. So this all, I think you know all that. This F ratio for each predictor by conducting a univariate analysis of variance in which other groups are treated as a categorical variable. The predictor is a criteria variable. Okay. The predictor with the highest F ratio is the first to be selected for inclusion in the discriminant function if it meets certain significance and tolerance criteria. Second predictor is added based on the highest adjusted or partial F ratio. This kind of case, I have not seen any research studies. Most of the studies I have taken two responses and two group discriminant analysis only they have done. So we So the process of selection and retention is continued until all predictors meeting the significance criteria for inclusion and retention have been entered in the discriminant function. So this all thing is applicable when you're having more than one discriminant function. So in that case, every time two, you need to just fetch in your data sheet, and then you run the discriminant analysis, and then you obtain multiple discriminant scores. Okay. So this is how you run the analysis in SPSS. The discriminant program performs both two group and multiple discriminant analysis basically. So to select the procedure, only you can go for SPSS and analyze, classify it, discriminate, and then whichever basis you want, you can run the analysis. Okay, so I'll give you a data sheet today. Okay, that you need to try in that sheet, and then let us see how it goes. Any doubts you have? You ask me so far. So the purpose of an objective of conducting the discriminant analysis is clear to everybody.
Ma'am, suppose
Yeah.
there are two brands,
Yeah.
A and B, and there are several independent variables,
Okay.
and we have calculated the discriminant function, right,
Okay.
ma'am? So for a particular respondent, if we feed the value in that discriminant function,
Huh.
so that that respondent will belong to will prefer brand A or brand B. How can we determine that?
That will be shown in your output window.
Okay.
It will come automatically that which person is belonging to which group.
Okay. Is there any criteria, ma'am? Or it will show some categorization key. This is the value. So for the discriminant function, which shows the path towards brand A or brand B, or preference for brand A or brand B.
No, it will just tell you that which participant is belonging to which group. That's it. You cannot judge your participant after that.
But ma'am, for a particular respondent, in the discriminant function, A constant plus AX plus BX BX2 plus CX3, like that. So if I feed the values for a particular respondent and calculate the value of discriminant function D.
Yeah, that you can do manually or Excel
Yes.
sheet using
So,
Excel sheet.
okay, suppose if I calculate that value, so based on that value, can I pick up, can I decide whether that respondent is going to select brand A or brand B?
Yeah, that only.
Okay.
See, basically, what you are doing now is that you are not telling them whether which one they are selecting. Based on the existing data, you're just classifying them. You are not predicting anything using this.
No, I want to predict the behavior of a respondent.
That's what I'm telling you. You cannot predict it using this test.
Acha.
You cannot predict. You can just classify the existing people, existing respondents, that how they are behaving. That's what you can do.
Okay, so only existing data, eh?
Yes. Let us say I've captured a data for 1,000 people, and now I want to know. Let us say that you have, whenever whoever is visiting in your mall, okay, you are giving them a questionnaire. And once you have given them a questionnaire and you have taken a data of 5,000 people, so now you are running into it, analysis on it. Okay. That what is happening with them. So that is how you will do it.
So based on questionnaire set, after getting the data about the independent variables which you thought in your questionnaire that it might solve your discriminant function research. So whatever discriminant function you arrive at, so that itself will show ki bhai, groupism of the people.
Yes.
So after 5,000, for example, you mean to say something like 3,500 people will belong to one group and 1,500 will belong to. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that means only the discriminant is being done on the dependent variable based on the population of data.
Yes.
Okay.
You are just classifying. That's it. Existing customers, you are just classifying into groups.
Okay. Understood.
Okay.
But
You
madam,
want me to run the
suppose,
data? Yeah.
ma'am, for example, based on your historical data, you have
Yeah.
differentiated the sample data into two groups, brand A and brand B.
Yeah.
But what about prediction? How
Prediction, we
can
are regression thing. Na? We are not using discriminant for prediction. That's what I'm telling. Each test is has its own objective. You cannot solve all the purpose with one test. Na?
okay, so suppose after 5,000, if I calculate, okay, that 3,500 people are preferring brand A. So
Huh.
as a marketing person, then I have to decide my strategy based on that.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, so that is the only indicating study you mean to say.
Yes.
It
Yes.
gives
Yes.
you the indication.
You are just profiling your customers. You are looking into your profile, customer profile based on discriminant analysis.
So it is helping me in making some clusters also.
Yeah, cluster analysis is different. That we'll do tomorrow. So
Okay.
that has its own purpose. Discriminant is just classifying your respondents into two groups, and then you are looking into that how what is the difference between those people.
Okay, okay,
Are
ma'am.
they different in age? Are they different in income? Are they different in occupation? How they both are different.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. You
Okay.
can proceed.
Yeah. So the data sheet you want me to run today or tomorrow? Discriminant analysis data sheet I have.
You can run today, and tomorrow we can practice.
Okay,
Tomorrow,
fine.
ma'am.
Okay. No, whichever you will. If you can retain the retention power is there, I can run it right now. I have to open the data sheet also. I'll just show you how it happens. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you people also try it. Okay. And then do let me know when the result comes or not. I'm not telling you all the functions. I want you to explore it. Okay. So I'll just open the sheet and then I will tell you that what all you need to do. So what we need for discriminant analysis now, tell me, what is the requirement? What all should I have in my data sheet? Tell me. Is this visible? The data sheet is visible?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible. Outdoor,
Okay. So tell
social,
me.
conservative, job, JID.
Tell me now what should I have in my data sheet and how should I proceed? It's very easy. Running this test is very easy. Understanding
Okay.
it is little difficult. Basically, what
Analyze.
happens? Yeah, understanding also is easy. The only thing is that we just need to have one note that in our questionnaire we need to have our questionnaire. In our questionnaire we need to have a dependent variable which only has two categories. Simple. That
Madam,
is our
can you please
dependent.
explain a little bit about data? Outdoor,
Yeah.
social, conservative, job, job.
Yeah. So we have taken here these five variables. If you see here, so outdoor, social, conservative, and then job satisfaction, and then their job ID, basically. So you are just capturing information based on these three parameters: outdoor, okay, outdoor activities, and in terms of social interaction, how they are, and in terms of conservativeness, how they rate themselves. So that is how
Okay.
we have just captured a score from our participants, and then we have asked them whether they are satisfied with their job or not.
Okay.
Now tell me which is independent variable and which is dependent variable here. This is the simplest data sheet. Tell me which is independent variable, which is dependent variable here.
So, social, outdoor, and JID, they can be dependent variable.
JID is your job
Sorry,
ID.
sorry. That is nominal data.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
you have
outdoor
nothing to
and
do with
social.
JID.
So outdoor and social, we can consider them as dependent variable.
How many dependent variable you can have in discriminant analysis?
Two.
One. One dependent variable
Job,
with two categories.
Okay. Okay.
job satisfaction is
Yes. Yes.
dependent
Is
variable.
our dependent variable. So how many independent variables we have now? Tell me. Looking at the data sheet.
Three.
Three. Okay. Understood.
Can you please explain?
So outdoor, social, and conservative, these three are your independent variables.
Okay.
And job satisfaction is your dependent variable. So now you want to classify these people into two groups. Are they satisfied with their job or they are not satisfied with their job? If they are
Okay.
satisfied, what is their profile? If they are not satisfied, what is their profile?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now
That is
I'm just
discriminant analysis.
yes, only this
Okay.
way. So here you can take age, gender, and anything, and then you can ask them their satisfaction with their banking services, or let us say you have taken data from school children, and then you're asking them are they happy with the school or not. So you're just classifying them into two groups. Once you classify, then you will see that majority belongs to which group.
Okay.
Getting it?
So it is
So
basically nothing but classification study
yes. As I told you, it is
for
not a
further
predictive
analysis.
analysis.
Okay,
Yes,
for
it
further
is just
analysis.
yes. It is basically strategy purpose. So based on that, in marketing or in HR studies, you can make further analysis. So let us say if a person is conservative, okay,
Mm-hmm.
more people, those who are having high conservative score are coming into job satisfaction. So based on that, you can frame your conclusions and strategies and implications.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, understood now.
Okay, now I will not run the analysis. I will just show you what you need to do, and I want you people to explore. Nothing will happen to SPSS if you press 2, 3 extra buttons. So what you need to do is that analyze and go to classify.
Yes.
And there, what you need to press here? Tell me from the given options.
Discriminant.
Yeah. So you click
Look.
on discriminant.
Yes.
Grouping variable, you have independent. So in independent, what all I should take?
Uh, Outdoor, social, and conservative.
Outdoor,
Social
total. I will not run the analysis. You people need to run the
and
analysis.
conservative. And
And
conservative.
grouping variable, what should I
Uh,
take?
job.
Now I have defined range. If I don't define, it will not run the analysis.
Hmm.
So minimum is how much? 1. And
1,
maximum is 2.
2.
I can have 0 and 1 also. I can have 1 and 2 also. Okay. Continue. And then remaining all I'm leaving to you. You need to explore it today.
Okay.
Okay. What all you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you want everything also, not a problem. That also you can. Okay. Classify. So how do you want to classify them? All groups equal. Okay. You want to have a separate group or territorial. You saw all these pictures I have shown you in the PPT also. If you want to see case wise, as I was telling you, know, if you remember, each respondent also you can see that which group they belong to. If
Okay.
you want to see case wise result, that also you
Okay.
want to see. If you want to see limit cases to first, that also you can define.
What
And
is
then
the
summary table.
ma'am? What is the
If
meaning
you
of
only
limit?
want, if you only want to see group 1 people, or if you only want to see group 2 people.
Okay.
Okay, understood. So
And if it would
everything what I
that means it will show both.
just case wise, if I uncheck, I will not see the case wise result because my lot of tables will be generated if I do this case. Okay, so continue. Then you just click on OK, and everything will come. See, everything has come now. And where will lambda significance value? See,
Very significant.
easy it is to run. It's very
Yes.
easy to run actually. You just need
Yes.
to just understand the data requirement. Running this test is very easy. It's not like your regression. Then the canonical functions have also come. This has become your case-wise table also has come.
Okay.
So each respondent for which group they belong to, that also has.
Okay.
If you want to generate a graph of all the respondents or something like that, can also happen. How it is. The graphs. And this is your final summary. 84.7% you have predicted. Basically, see the value 83.7% of original grouped cases correctly classified. What did I tell you? Actually, it should be more than 25%. But how much we are getting? 83.7%. It's a good value. So close to 70-80% at least we should get.
Okay, that means 100% of the respondents
Yeah.
have not given the correct data.
Yeah, maybe. So for those people, it could not predict that in which group they belong. Simple.
So this is the efficiency of our
Yes.
research, that 83%.
This is the main table which we need to report.
Classification results. Huh?
Yeah.
Why only we have gone for 84.7 value, ma'am?
No,
On group cases 1 and 2. Okay.
no. Out of predicted groups, 84.7 belong to group 1 and 17.2 belong to group 2.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is like that. Clear it is? So now you can run this test again. And if you have a questionnaire or something like that, then you can run it on your own data sheet also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So we have already done logistic regression and discriminant. Tomorrow we need to do cluster analysis and conjoint analysis. Okay. So we'll close now.
Yes, ma'am. We can close, and tomorrow at 5 we will gather again then.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have one question like regarding our research. Actually, yes, I want to know one thing, that if I want to do a research on private and public banks, I want to do a comparative study of CSR activities done by private and public banks towards society and environment. Then in this topic, what would be the dependent variable and what would be the independent variable, ma'am?
You need to show me your question. That only I can tell you.
Okay. The head.
Yeah. Tomorrow
The
we can
details.
discuss. You can just tell me more details about your question here. Then I'll be tell you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. We will be gathering tomorrow at 5 again then.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.